Well, you've got all these other kids. Why waste your time with me? I said acidly. I mean, I'm only the one you were supposed to see. Tell you what, let's go up to your room, just you and me. How about it? Okay, I said, yawning and shrugging. If you really want, I've gone off the idea now, but if you insist, just for a minute or two. It took her a while to dump the baby and prize Wayne away, and then all the others kept clustering around, saying it wasn't fair. So do you know what she did? She said they could do interviews on her tape recorder, and she put Justine in charge of it. You aren't half making a mistake there, Cam. You're crazy. They'll wreck it in 2 minutes, I said. No, they won't. Justine will work it, and everyone take a 2-minute turn. Introduce yourselves first and then say whatever you want. But don't worry, Peter, you don't have to. You're a stark staring mad, I said. Look, if anyone's in charge of that tape recorder, it's got to be me. I'm the only one who knows how to work it properly. Well, show Justine, said Cam. Then she'll be able to work it too. I'm not showing her, I said. But in the end I did. And of course Justine was clueless and didn't catch on, and I kept sighing, groaning, and she got narked and gave me a push, and I clenched my fist ready to give her a thump, but Cam got in between us and said, look, I'll run through it. Here's the record button, Justine, right? And eventually Justine got the hang of it. I don't know why she's called Littlewood. Little Brain would have been far more appropriate. Then Cam and I went up to my room and left them to it. You thought you'd found a way of getting Justine and me to make friends, I said. But ha, it didn't work, did it? Because we're always going to be deadly enemies. Cam laughed at me. She laughed at the notice taped on my bedroom door too. This room belongs to Tracy Beaker. Strictly private. Keep out on pain of death, and it will be a very painful death too. It's okay. You can come in. You're my guest, I said, opening the door for her. My room looked a bit of a tip, actually. I hadn't got round to making the bed, and the floor was littered with socks and pyjama tops and bits of biscuit and pencil sharpenings, so she did have to pick her way through it. She didn't make a big thing of it, though. She looked at all the stuff I'd got pinned to my notice board, and she nodded a bit and smiled. Is that your mum? Cam asked. Isn't she lovely? You'd really think she was a film star, wouldn't you? I think maybe she is a film star now, in Hollywood, and she'll be jetting over to see me soon. Maybe she'll take me back with her, and I'll get to be a film star too. A child star. The marvellous movie Moppet, Tracy Beaker. Yeah, that would be great, eh? I spun around with a great grin, doing a cutesy pie curtsy, and Cam caught on straight away and started clapping and acting like an adoring fan. I hope you're still going to be a writer too, she said. Have you done any more about Goblinda? Give us a chance. I've been too busy doing my autobiography, I said. I suppose this autobiography of yours is strictly private, Cam asked, sounding a bit wistful. Of course it is, I said. But then I hesitated. Elaine the Pain has seen bits of it, and Louise and Little Brain, and I did show a bit to Peter, actually, just to show him how much I'd done. So why shouldn't I show a bit to Cam too, as she's sort of a friend now? So I let her have a few peeps, and I had to be a bit careful because some of the stuff I've written about her isn't exactly flattering. She came across a description of her by accident, but she didn't take any offence. She roared with laughter. You really should be the one writing this article about children in care, Tracy, not me. I think you'd make a far better job of it. Yes, have you made a start in this article yet? She fidgeted a bit. Not really. It's difficult. You see, the magazine editor wants a very touching, sentimental story about all these sad, sweet, vulnerable little children that will make her readers reach for a wad of Kleenex. Yeah, that's the right approach. Oh, come off it, Tracy. Now, none of you lot are all sweet. You're all gutsy and stroppy and spirited, and I want to write what you really like, but it wouldn't be the sort of thing the editor wants. And it won't be the sort of thing I want either. You've got to make me sound sweet, Cam. No one will want me otherwise. I've gone past my sell-by date already. It gets hopeless when you get older than 5 or 6. You stop being a cute little toddler and started to be difficult. And I'm not pretty either, so people won't take one look at my photo and start cooing. And then it's not like I'm up for adoption, so people can't ever make me their little girl. Not properly, anyway. You're not up for adoption because you've still got your mum. Exactly. And like I said, she'll be coming for me soon. But meanwhile, I'd like to live in a proper homely home instead of this old dump. Otherwise, I'll get institutionalised. Cam's eyebrows go up. I know what it means and all. I've heard Elaine and some of the other social workers going on about it. It's like when you get so used to living in an institution like this that you never learn how to live in a proper home. And when you get to be 18, you can't cope and you don't know how to do your own shopping or cooking or anything. Although, I can't see me ever having that problem. I bet I could cope right this minute living on my own. They just have to bum me this lolly and I'd whiz off down the shops and have a whole whale of a time. I bet you would, said Cam. Then Maxie started scratching at my door and whining and complaining. I told him to push off because Cam and I were in conference, but he didn't take any notice. Miss, it's not fair. Them big girls won't let me have a go on the tape. I want a go, miss. You tell them to let me have a go. They're playing their pop stars, miss, and I want a go. Cam smiled and sighed, looking at her watch. I'd better go back downstairs. I've got to be going in a minute anyway. Oh, that's not fair. Aren't you staying? You can have lunch with us lot. Jenny won't mind, and it's hamburgers on Saturday. No, I'm meeting someone for lunch in town. Oh, where are you going then? Well, we'll probably have a drink and then we'll have a salad or something. My friend's fussy about her figure. Who wants boring old salad? If I was having lunch out, I'd go to McDonald's. I'd have a Big Mac and French fries and a strawberry milkshake. See? I'm not the slightest bit institutionalised, am I? You've been to McDonald's then? Oh, heaps of times, I said, and then I paused. Well, not actually inside. I was fostered with this boring family, Julie and Ted, and I kept on at them to take me, but they said it was junk food. And I said all their boring brown beans and soggy veggie stews were the real junk, because they looked like someone had already eaten them and sicked them up, and, well, anyway, they never took me. No wonder, said Cam, grinning. I am allowed to go out to lunch from here, you know. Are you? Yes, any day. And tell you what, I really will work on that article for you. I could work on it this week and show you what I've done. And we could discuss it over lunch at McDonald's. Hint, hint, hint. Cam smacked the side of her head as if a great thought had just occurred to her. Hey Tracy, would you like to come out with me to McDonald's next week? Yes, please. I pause. Really? You're not kidding? Really? Next Saturday I'll come pick you up about 12, okay? I'll be waiting. And so I shall. I'd better send her a letter too, just in case she forgets. Dear Camilla, I'm working hard on the article. I'll show you on Saturday. Remember, we have a lunch date at 12 to go to McDonald's, from your co-writer Tracy Beaker. Gob Linda says if you took her to McDonald's, she'd be ever so good and wouldn't gob once. I knew she said 12 o'clock, and she's not exactly the most punctual of people. She might have got here till 10 past, even 20 past or half past. So why am I sitting here staring out of the window when we've only just had breakfast? I hate waiting. It really gets on my nerves. I can't concentrate on anything else, not even my writing. And I haven't done any writing in this book all week because I've been so busy with my article for Cam. I've got it all finished now, and even though I say it myself, I've done a really great job. She can just bung it up at her editor and no one will ever be the wiser. I should really get the whole fee for it myself, but I'm very generous. I'll share 50-50 with Cam because she's my friend. Old Pete's my friend too. We've been bumping into each other in the middle of the night this week on a sheet sortie. Mostly, we just had a little whisper, but last night I found him all huddled up and soggy because he'd had a nightmare about his nan. Strangely enough, I'd had a nightmare about my mum, and it had brought on a bad attack of my hay fever. Normally, I'd like to keep it to myself at such moments, as some stupid, ignorant twits think my red eyes and runny nose are because I've been crying. And I never, ever cry, no matter what. But I knew Peter wouldn't tease me, so I huddled down beside him for a bit, and when I felt him shivering, I put my arm around him and told him he was quite possibly my best friend ever. He'd just come up to me now and asked if I wanted to play paper games. Yeah, it might help pass the time. Oh, charming. Peter and I had just got started and I was about to win the first game when Elaine the Pain comes buzzing in. She's here dumping off some boring new kids and now she wants to have a little chat with Peter. Well, tough Elaine, because I'm having a little chat with Peter right now, I said. Now, Tracy, said Elaine. Yes, now, I said. Elaine bared her teeth at me. That smile means she'd really like to give me a clip around the ear, but she's going to make allowances for me. I expect you're feeling a bit het up this morning, Tracy, because of this writer coming to take you out. Jenny's told me all about it. It'll be a lovely treat for you. You bet, and it'll be a lovely treat for her too, because I've written this article for her. Well, I might have a little treat up my sleeve for Peter here, Elaine said, and she shuffled him off into a corner and started talking to him earnestly. She's still talking to him. She's keeping her voice down, but I can have very large, waggly ears when I want. Elaine's going on about these people she knows, an older couple whose children have all grown up, and now they're a bit lonely. They'd like to look after someone. A little boy, maybe a little boy just like Peter. So that's it. Little Petey Weety is obviously going to get fostered and live happily ever after. Well, that's good, isn't it? Because he's my best friend. No, it's bad, because he won't be able to be my best friend anymore if he goes off and gets himself fostered. And it's not fair. He's hardly been here any time, and I've been here ages and ages, and no one ever wants to foster me now. Still, who wants to be fostered by some boring older couple anyway? Older might mean really ancient and crabby and strict. They'd never wear jeans or write funny letters or take Peter to McDonald's. I wish Cam would hurry up and come for me. Although it's nowhere near time. It's daft me sitting here by the window like this waiting. Justine is hovering behind me. I think she's waiting for her dad. I hope she won't tell him about the little accident to her Mickey Mouse clock. He might come up and beat me up. Even though the clock's all mended now, Jenny took it into the shop and they sorted it. I was glad to see old Mickey ticking talking around and around again. Justine caught me looking and she gave me this great fierce push that nearly knocked me over and told me that if I so much as touched her clock again, she'd duff me up for good and proper. Honestly, my fist clenched and I was all set to have a real go at her because no one talks to Tracy Beaker like that. But then I remembered my lunch date. Jenny isn't best pleased with me at the moment. If I got into a punch-up with Justine, then she mightn't let me go out with Cam. So I kept calm. I smiled at Justine in a superior sort of way. Really, Justine, do you always have to resort to violence? I said. My superior willpower was wasted on Justine. She just thought I was chicken. Cowardly custard, she mumbling under her breath now. Tracy Beaker's got no bottle. I shan't take any notice of her. I shall just sit here writing and waiting. It's not that long now. Only it seems like forever. I used to sit like this when I waited for my mum. I wonder when she will come. I had that awful dream about her again. I was out having lunch with Cam in McDonald's and it was really great and we were having a smashing time together when I looked up at the clock and saw it had gone 1 o'clock. And it suddenly rang a terrible bell in my head and I remembered that my mum was coming to take me to lunch at 1 o'clock and I just went panic. I charged off to try and get back to the home in time and I got a bus but they chucked me off because I hadn't have enough money. And then I ran into Aunt Peggy and she chased after me to give me a good smacking and Julie and Ted tripped me up and Justine caught me and threw me in a river and I couldn't swim and I was drowning. And then I woke up, wet. So, okay, I know it was only a dopey old nightmare, but what if it was some kind of premonition? What if my mum really was coming for me today and I miss her because I'm having lunch with Cam? I'll have to talk to Elaine. Well, I've talked, sort of. Can I have a little chat, Elaine? I said. Tracy, I'm still having a little chat with Peter. You've had a little chat with Peter, correction. You've had extremely long and boring, endless conversation with him, and you're my social worker just as much as his. So could you please come and have a little chat with me? It's sort of urgent. Elaine sighed. She ruffled Peter's hair and gave him a little chuck under the chin. Then she came over to me at long last. What is it then, Tracy? I swallowed, not sure how to put it. Tracy, are you just winding me up? Said Elaine. No, it's just, look, about my mum. She doesn't know I'm here, does she? Well, no, I don't think so. But if she wanted to find me, she could, couldn't she? I said it in a whisper, but Justine heard. Who'd ever want to come looking for you, Tracy Beaker, she said. You shut your mouth. Justine pulled a hideous face and Louise giggled. Then she tugged at Justine's sleeve. Come on, let's see what the new girl's doing. She's got 2 whole suitcases with her, so she must have heaps of clothes. But Justine wanted to stay at the window, so Louise wandered off by herself. I knew Justine was still listening for all she was worth. Honestly, some people have no decency whatsoever, but I had to keep on asking Elaine. If my mum wanted to come, she could go round to that old children's home, and they could tell her where I am now, couldn't they? Yes, of course they would, said Elaine. Don't worry, Tracy. Each time you get moved somewhere else, there's a special record kept. So if your mum wants to see you, then it's pretty easy. They look up your name and file and find your present address. Good, I said. What's up, Tracy? You still look a bit worried. I'm okay. Only I don't feel okay. What if my mum does come today and I'm out having lunch with someone else? Will she wait for me, or will she get fidgety and fed up and zoom off again? And I'll get back here and Jenny will say, oh, by the way, Tracy, your mum called when you were out but couldn't wait for you. She was all set to take you back to Hollywood with her, but she had this plane to catch, so she couldn't hang about. What am I going to do? Maybe she won't come today. She hasn't ever come before, and yet, what if she did? I wish I hadn't had that dream. Dreams can come true. I feel sick. Maybe I don't really want to go to McDonald's after all. See that splodge? It's real blood. I'm not going to get to go to McDonald's now, whether I want to or not. I had a fight. I'm in the quiet room. This is how it happened. I went over to Peter and I whispered in his ear, would you like to go to McDonald's with Cam? Peter scrunched up his neck because my whispers can be a bit tickly. You mean go with you? No, go instead of me. I've kind of gone off the idea. It's okay, I'll tell Cam when she comes. She quite likes you, so she wouldn't mind taking you instead. Peter looked worried. I can't, Tracy. I'm going out too with these people. What? With this boring older couple? I said. Elaine raised her eyebrows at me, but I took no notice of her. I bet they won't take you to McDonald's, I said. Why don't you want to go, Tracy? Elaine asked. I thought you were so looking forward to it. Yes, but I want to stay here, just in case. Elaine is a pain, but she's also quite quick at putting 2 and 2 together. Tracy, I don't think your mum will be coming today, she said quietly. Oh, I know that, only I had this dream. She did him the dream. Yes, I'm sure she did, and I expect it was a lovely dream, but no, it was a perfectly foul dream because I wasn't here to see her and you woke up blubbling with a soaking wet bed, baby, Justine muttered. I told you to shut up, I said, getting really riled up now. I'd go out with your writer friend, Tracy, said Elaine. Well, I'm not sure I really want to now. Anyway, I glared at Peter. Why do you have to be seeing this boring older couple today, eh? You could see them any old time. You go and have a Big Mac with Cam. Peter wriggled. Elaine put her hand on his shoulder. He looked up at her and then at me. Sorry, Tracy, I want to meet them. Auntie Viv and Uncle Stanley. Of course you want to meet them, Peter, and Tracy is going to meet her writer, said Elaine. No, I'm not. I'd go, said Justine, only I can't because of my dad. I'm going to lunch with him. You're supposed to be going out with him last Saturday, only he never turned up, I said. Okay, but he does come sometimes. Not like your famous mum. She's never ever coming for you, said Justine. Oh yes, she has, I yelled. She's come for me lots of times. She's going to come and take me away for good. We're going to Hollywood together. And Will you stop laughing at me, you great big pig? You're so stupid, Justine gasped. Your mum's not a film star. Louise told me about your mum. She's nothing. And she's never coming for you. She hasn't been near you since you were little. I bet she's forgotten all about you. Or she's had heaps of other kids and doesn't want to think about that boring, ugly Tracy ever again. So I hit her. And I kept on hitting her. And I don't care. I've made her nose bleed again. She's hurt me a bit too, but I don't care. And now I'm stuck in the quiet room and it's gone 12. And one of the other kids will get to go out to lunch with Cam instead of me. And I don't care. At least it won't be Justine. Maybe my mum will come? There's someone outside the door. It's opening. Is it Mum?